Hello and welcome to today's LOL Esports Roundup. We're going to cover the LCS games from last night because they ended so late. Couldn't do the roundup last night at that hour, and previewing the LCK games today and then previewing tomorrow's schedule. Tonight's LCS games were previewed on yesterday's roundup. If you'd like to watch them, there are chapters and timestamps in that video. Today I struggled. On this board I went 3 and 4, first losing day of the year, 35 and 13 on the season. In the LCS, we had 100 Thieves and C9 start us off. C9, 21st in my power rankings, would win. Fudge, 4-1 and 16, and 28% of the team's damage was MVP on a K-Sante. Blabber, 11-2 and 8 on a Wukong. Tenacity, 3-5-4, 29% damage on Jax. So, C9 blew him out. I thought C9 was going to win. I didn't think it would be as one-sided. The game was very, very slow, but Fudge opened up a sizable lead in the top lane that kind of just ended up snowballing into him carrying the game, essentially. At some points probably would have taken all five of 100 Thieves members to kill him. I will say that Closer played a very good game. His stat line is not going to indicate that, but he did get ahead of Blabber and really gap him in the early game, pushing him out of his jungle, and unfortunately 100 Thieves never were able to do anything with it. Never were able to get a successful gank off, and never were able to push Closer ahead and allow him to take his lead and share it with his laners. Now, he also would steal a Baron as well, which stalled the game out for probably like 5 more minutes than it otherwise would have been. Very, very clean game by C9. There's really not much to say. Diplex, I thought, did well on the Akali. He had some nice plays. Bjerg left a little bit to be desired. Tenacity. He got solo killed by Fudge, and he goes down as getting a solo kill back because Fudge dove turret when the game was over pretty much in mid lane. And Tenacity came very, very close to killing Fudge. He had outplayed a top dive as well. So he played well. He deserves his name on there, the young player. What are you going to do? I will say I didn't like the draft by 100 Thieves. They had options, and they chose not to take them. Kassadin, Yuumi, Maokai are 3 champions I think should be picked. Instead, they go Varus, and Buzio goes Azir support. Now, I have said multiple times in the past, I hate how the Shy does things sometimes, but Buzio definitely pulled the Shy yesterday. I thought it was fun, but at the same time, it did not work at all. So, that's that. Golden Guardians and EG, both obviously 0-0. EG win. Jojo Pune led the team in damage despite dying 7 times. On an Azir, went 176, 29%. FBI 7-0-7 on a Jhin. Styx 8-3-5-4, 32% damage on a Varus, I think. Inspired ends up being MVP. This was a battle of the junglers. I know Inspired's name's not on there, and that's because he played a Sejuani, and we know Sejuani is a dog. So he did a lot of work for this team, got them a lead in the early game, and mid game for that matter. There was a moment in the bot lane where he ended up with a double kill when, I believe, Golden Guardians attempted a dive, and it went sour, which unfortunately put a lot of gold on the Sejuani and not the Jhin. Obviously, FBI ended up getting kills by the end of the game, but Jhin isn't. Jhin is a champion in our Discord that does not get a lot of favorable treatment. And then in the mid to late game, River really took over on Wukong and put in a lot of work, brought the team back, brought them out of the hole they were in. Licorice ended up solo killing Someday under his own turret. Licorice under his own turret. Licorice on an Olaf. I didn't expect that. That was a surprise. And that brought Golden Guardians back into it. They were able to stop the Drake stacking, and the game went for 45 minutes. EG coming out ahead in the end. FlyQuest and TL, both top 15 in my power rankings. Fly 12th, Liquid 14th. Fly without Isla, so Winsome was in, and they would win. Impact, 3-1-11, 30% of damage on GP was my MVP. Prince, 9-1-2 in his debut in the LCS on Azeri. ended up going for the Penta tower dive, could not get it as the game expired. Harry, 3-2-2, 32% of damage for Syndra. I thought Harry played fine. He and Vikla, I thought he played better than Vikla, which was a shock. But that kind of, you do young players. Vikla's one of the youngest mid laners in the 4 major regions, despite him being from Korea. He won Rookie of the Year, but he's one of the younger ones. If you missed my youngest players video in the 4 major regions, he's listed on there. TL looked pretty sus. Impact solo killed Summit. I think Summit had Jax and Impact had, like I said, had GP, and he was very, very impactful. Impact is impactful. Did a lot of work. I also thought it was kind of interesting after this game they had Spica on with Cutie Cinderella or whatever. I think that's her name, right? Cutie Cinderella. I don't watch, like I said yesterday, I don't watch it. Many people. Real life streamers. So they're doing a cooking thing, and I thought that was really interesting. It's nice that the LCS brought her on because I think she provides the LCS with an opportunity to get fans that may not be completely into the game. She plays League, I guess, casually on stream or something, but it was nice. I thought Spica really showed a lot of personality in that, and I thought that was good that he was able to showcase some personality. People that are like really pay attention to the scene know he has one, but more casual viewers or people that are new may found out Spica's an interesting person with some personality. And TL just kind of to sum up this game, TL kind of just didn't have it. CLG and Dig. CLG win. Poom was MVP. Dokla 245, 29% of damage on Gangplank. Palafox 4-0-4. Spawn 0-1-0, 29% damage, I think, on Avaris. This was a game that CLG started with the lead and ended with the lead. They led every minute in gold from start to finish. And they mentioned it on stream, Rafa making his debut on the LCS, and you definitely see he was excited. It was a big moment for them, and I thought they did a great job. CLG just clearly had the synergy already, and it's because they have all 5 players returning, right? And they just hit the ground running. Their communication obviously was on point. You could see there was a play where Poom shot his arrow up the top lane all the way from the base, and Dokla was able to set up Santorin as that arrow was coming up the lane to be hit by the arrow that resulted in some kills in the top lane, and CLG just dominated. It was a big time performance. And Dig, struggled. Struggling is... Dig ended up having Biofrost instead of Ignar. I'm not going to say that was the reason they lost for sure, because I don't think Ignar and Bio are that much different in terms of level of play. Definitely different players. Ignar is very, very aggressive, where I don't think the same about Bio. But, that's not going to be the difference. So the issue... Excuse me. The issue was much, much larger with this game. Immortals and TSM. TSM would win. Maple 306, 30% of damage. Boogie 405 on an Elise. He did work. Got the team in a position to win. Revenge 100, 27% damage on a Fiora. I'm not going to lie. I don't remember much about this game. Now, I'm going to say that right now. I just thought about it. I'm reading it right now, and I'm like, damn. Maple's on a Talia. Like I said, Boogie on an Elise. Revenge on a Fiora. I remember that. But at the same time, this game was... there's Draven Pike bot lane by Immortals. And unfortunately, Fleshy got the... Well, no, actually, in the end, I guess Tactical got the gold, right? He got the stacks. But it just ended up not working out for them. They couldn't get it done, and Neo took over the game on a Lucian. See, I remembered. It came back to me. Neo ended up taking over on the Lucian. He doesn't get MVP because Boogie had a lot of facilitating things, and I prefer facilitators. So that's a thing. LCK this morning, Nongshim and DRX. DRX 24th in my power rankings, 0-2. Nongshim 0-2. Red Force would win 2-0. Fiesta was MVP. I thought Fiesta played a fabulous 3 games. This follows up, and I guess I'm giving him a little bit of an MVP for how I played against D+ as well. I thought he played a great week between the 2 series as Nongshim try and find a way. I'd argue that they won all 3 games, really. They were in a position to win the first game and through, and it was definitely a case of a young team making mistakes. Poor macro decisions, and literally I said on stream, I'm like, well, we'll see in game 2 if they fix those, and they did, and then DRX just had no answer this whole series. Vital, 14, 5, and 21, 31% of damage. His support, Peter, would go 2, 2, and 41 across his 3 games. Fate, 6, 10, and 6, 29% of damage for DRX, as Krako and Fate continue to struggle. Rascal is not doing enough work. I think they need to play around him more. We'll get into that with this one because KT ended up righting the ship, and I felt it was by playing around Keen. Not really playing around Rascal enough, and this DRX are in a world of hurt right now, and I said it yesterday when I was previewing this series. I think they're a lot like Nongshim last year. And I don't think that there's a way to fix it. We were talking about it on stream today. The LCK, and these 2 teams also have this problem. The LCK jungle pool is pretty sus right now. There are a lot of junglers that just aren't they're just average at best. You really think about it. You have Canyon and you have Owner, and those are the only 2 that you can really, well, I think Peanut's up there too. Some people that don't think that, but I think Peanut's up there. So those 3 are the ones that we know we're probably going to get average at worst to great performances at best. It varies obviously how much that happens, but Canyon, Owner, and Peanut I feel like are able to do that, where everybody else is like average at best. Krako, Cuz, Clid, Sylvie, Umpty, Young Jay. Am I missing anybody? We got Willer, like literally these guys, and I don't know if I missed anybody or not, but they're all just like, okay, these guys are average, and I guess Willer has potential, Young Jay has potential, where Cuz, Clid, and Krako have been around for a little while. Like, we're running out of time here for development purposes. I don't remember if any showed up on my young players video, but those 3 specifically are struggling, and they all played today. And the bot lane really isn't doing enough work. And the thing is, DRX had Maokai in games 1 and game 2. They had Zeri, Yumi. It didn't work. Just didn't work. KT and HLE. KT Roaster 6th, 1 and 2. HLE 15th in my power rankings at 1 and 1. Both coming off of losses to Live Sandbox. Keen was MVP, going 2 and 0. The team would go win 2-0. Aiming 902, 30% of damage as the bot lane dominated. This was a crushing series. BDD 5-0 and 12, Viper 1-4-0, 29% of damage. I don't know. I really didn't double check. I didn't keep track of like kill score all that much throughout this series. But on Games of Legend, it said there were like definitely under 5 kills. There might have been only 2 kills by HLE in this series. Very, very, very lopsided. I thought HLE really struggled. And the thing is, like, Clid did not play good, right? But the difference is, you think about last week, it was like, okay, Clid's playing bad, but Zeka's playing well. Like, oh, well, Viper's showing something here. Like, things were happening that were, like, positive. And it was like, okay, well, Clid's holding them back. This is a problem. This morning, it was everybody is not doing well. And Dandy does not have a great record as a head coach, at least if I recall correctly. I don't know if that's an issue. I think it's a matter of also players meshing together. I think Viper and Life, this is sometimes 2v2s. A duo does not mesh. You can have 2 great players as a duo, and maybe it just doesn't work. That happens. They really, really look bad. Aiming and Lahens gapped the Caitlyn Lux lane with Varus and Leona, and I can't believe a Leona was able to participate in that. KT had a good idea with BDD sending him bot lane and blowing the cleanse early on Viper. But now let's kind of talk about Keen. I thought Keen gapped Kingen. They really played towards Keen in the top lane. Kingen died 6 times in the first game. TF doing work. BDD making sure something happened. Zeka behind him on that, which I don't understand. So I don't know. that's the ticket, right? That's the way to get back online, was getting behind Keen, who is, I mean, thinking about KT, Keen is probably their best player relative to the role. Aiming is fantastic. He's a top 380 carry, but I would say Keen, if you got to get behind somebody, Keen is probably a better bet than Aiming. And Lehens obviously isn't going to carry a game for you outright as a support. I mean, he can do a lot of work, and I mean, if he's on whatever, a Singed, I guess, with Senna, he maybe could, but I thought Keen was definitely a big part of this. I thought Cuz playing towards him was smart, but at the same time, 2-2, riding the ship, right? There's 6 in my power rankings. I doubt that next week there will be 6 still, so that's a thing. But that's it for the recap of last night's games and this morning's, and now on to the sneak peek for tomorrow. All right, now for the sneak peek, I had to move the camera a bit so I can get the bottom part of the board on here. So the predictions, by the way, for members only, those were made in a post for the LCS games tonight if you missed them. LCK tomorrow, we have the Battle of the Titans, the top 2 of my power rankings, D+ and T1, both 3-1. Oh, geez, both 3-0, sorry. One of them is going to be 3-1 after tomorrow. D+ beat Nongshim 2-0. T1 dominated the hell out of the Freaks 2-0. Summer playoffs was the last time they played. T1 would win 3-2. 8 out of 10 players from that series are in the game tomorrow. 5 out of 5 for T1, and then Kana and Deft are new. Nuguri retired, and Duckdom obviously with DRX. Owner went 12-11 and 32 in that series. Canyon 7-8 and 33 in the semifinals. 5 out of 7 people on the Discord agree. Deft, Kelling, Guma, Keria is the matchup to watch, as Guma and Keria really are feeling themselves against KDF. Keria's picking like Caitlyn support, like absolutely. And NGAF, or what? NGF. NFG. NFG. If you know what that means, I had to make sense of it too. I got IDGAF mixed up with NGF or NF. Oh my God Almighty! I got like 4 hours sleep last night between the LCS and LCK. This new schedule for those LCS fans that only like 50,000 watch the game or whatever, like at times yesterday, like they didn't really put up. But yeah, Deft is playing outstanding. D+ is playing around the bot lane big time, and T1's bot lane is one of the best in the world. Sandbox and Bro. So both these teams are 2-1, both trying to vie for the power rankings top 25. I would argue the winner probably replaces DRX. Sandbox beat KT 2-1. Bro lost to Gen earlier in the week 2-0. Week 9, day 3, Sandbox 1-2-0 in Summer. 5 out of the 10 players from that series are in the series tomorrow. Closer was the Star going 12-0 and 21. Envy and Cal and Henna and Effort is what I want to watch. Envy and Cal, I want to continue to see them progress. I think that is those are the players I want to see get better and see how they do. And Henna and Effort was the top rated support in my my top performers video. So I think that is going to be an interesting matchup. Discord, 3 out of 6 people want Morgan versus Birdall because they love Morgan. LEC preview, week 2, day 1. Vitality, 11th in the power rankings, 3-0. Astralis, 0-3. Vitality beat Mad. Astralis lost to G2. Week 7, day 2 of Summer 2022. Astralis won. That was probably one of those wins Vitality wanted back that kept them out of the playoffs. 4 out of 10 players from that game are in the game tomorrow. Dajor and Perks are 2 of them. Dajor 6-5-10. Perks 3-4-3 in that one. Bo and 1-1-3 is the matchup I want to watch. 5 out of 7 people agree. I want to see the 2 rookies duke it out. Bo obviously is fantastic, but I want to see how 1-1-3 does against another rookie. Fnatic and BDS, both 1-2. Fnatic beat Koi. BDS lost to Excel in a game they should have won. Week 6, day 2 of Summer, Fnatic would win. 4 out of 10 players from that series are in the game tomorrow. Humanoid 4-1-6 in mid. Nuke, formerly known as Nuclear Int, went 2-4-1 across from him. All 7 people, including myself, have Reckless Rux. Crowny Lebrav is the matchup to watch in bot lane. Crowny one of the best bot laners in week 1, despite BDS's struggles. He should have been playing for X-Matty last year. Who knows what they could have done with their leads if they had an AD carry. The leads that Syncroft got them. Heretics and Koi. Koi 16th in the power rankings, 2-1, coming off the loss to Fnatic. Heretics 1-2, coming off of a loss to SK. Week 6, day 1, Misfits would beat Koi, formerly known as Rogue, so Misfits versus Rogue. Mursa is the holdover from that winning squad. 5 out of the 10 players in that game will start for their team tomorrow. Mursa, actually, the supports combined for 14 deaths in this game. Mursa 2-7-11, Trimby 2-7-9. Eevee versus Sisgenda is the matchup I want to watch. I had them as my top-rated top laners from the LEC last week, and 5 out of 7 voters agree. It's definitely going to be an interesting matchup, and I hope that they get put on an island a bit, and I want to see who comes out ahead, which is just the meta, really. Like I said, KT played towards Keen, which was good for them, but more often than not, teams are placing their top laners on islands. SK and G2. G2 9th in my power rankings, 3-0. SK 1-2. They beat Heretics. G2 beat Astralis. Week 8, day 3 of summer. G2 would win. 3 out of the 10 starters in that game start tomorrow. Caps went 0, 3-14. Certus 2-4-3. The bot lane is what I like to watch in that one. Exakick and DOS, the rookies. DOS might not be a rookie. Exakick is. And he did a fabulous job against Heretics and Jack Spectra in the last game, and I'm really hoping that he can follow it up with another good performance. That's a kid that really had some great stats coming into the year, and I think was being really overlooked because of the bow hype and the yike hype. God almighty. Hans and Mickey, obviously, cross from this is a big test for Exakick and DOS because Hans and Mickey are one of the best, if not the best, bot lanes in the LEC. 4 out of 7 people want Marcoon versus Yike. Marcoon is solid, but we'll see how Yike does. These junglers are definitely fun to watch, Yike and Bo. Lastly, Excel and Mad Lions. Making sure I'm still on the screen. I am. Excel and Mad Lions. Excel beat BDS. They're 1-2. Mad Lions 22nd in my power rankings, 2-1. Lost to Vitality. Week 6, day 2 of summer, Mad Lions won. 3 out of the 10 starters in that game start tomorrow. Elyoya 4-3-10. Vethio and Niski is the matchup I want to watch. Vethio needs to get it together and start carrying XL. He won MVP on the TF against BDS, but frankly, and I said at that time, Crownie should have been MVP. That entire game, both teams lost. It was awful. And Niski's done work for Mad Lions once again, facilitating, making things happen, carrying when he kind of needs to. Is he the best mid laner? No, but he's always relevant. 3 out of 7 people want, like the Xerxes Elyoya matchup, once again, jungler love. Elyoya is a really, really talented jungler, so it makes a lot of sense. We'll see what happens as the LEC kind of, get into week 2 of what is the first stage of their winter split. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord. If you want to become a YouTube member, you can. $3 tier supports me, get a badge in the comments and in the stream if I'm streaming. $10 a month, you get extra content. That includes my predictions, whether that's in a post or a video. So thank you for watching, and I hope you come back for more content.